Welcome to Power Your Profits podcast, your friendly guide in bringing your business revenue to the next level. Listen as host Dr. Susie Carder hears inspiring stories of success from her fellow entrepreneurs and transformational leaders. Prepare to make significant change to your strategies as they unravel the secrets of building multi-million-dollar businesses and the most effective tips on finance, marketing, and sales accountability. If you want to take your first steps towards explosive business growth, this podcast is for you. Without further ado, here is your host, Dr. Susie.
One of the biggest challenges I see working with clients all over the world is sales and sales conversion, systems around sales, and creating the offer that clients raise their hand and say, I want to jump in. Welcome to this month's Power Your Profit podcast. I'm Dr. Susie Carder, and today's guest, Lisa Sasavich, is honored in the Distinguished Mentor Award of the Harvard Faculty Club. She has been known to be called the Queen of Sales, and she is a recipient of eWomen Network Foundation Championship Award. She's ranked on the Inc. 500 5,000 list for 2 consecutive years. That means she's a badass. With 25 years of corporate experience, including Pfizer and Hewlett-Packard, Lisa empowers entrepreneurs to achieve massive results without being salesy, delivering high-impact sales closing strategies in just a few years. She's built a multi-million-dollar home-based business while raising 2 toddlers. Lisa is the undisputed expert in significant profits while doing what you love. Please welcome my guest, Lisa Sasavich. Oh my gosh, you are one of the biggest gifts to our industry, right? And looking at sales and loving sales, and they call you the queen of sales. And so talk about your genius and your sweet spot, right? And why you love this topic so much, because most people shy away from it, but you jump in head first, feet first, body first.
Well, first of all, thanks for the amazing intro. And I've always loved our connection and relationship and our joint commitment for people to not just, have a great business, but a profitable business. So I appreciate that you focus there. For many of us, we're mission driven, and we would practically give it away just to be able to feel that we're making that difference in the world. But as a lot of us learned the hard way early on, when people pay, they pay attention, and we we want them to pay attention. So, and really get the transformation, the outcome that they came to each one of us for, whatever our gift. So for me, the irresistible offer has just always been my jam. I'm semi-retired now, mostly helping VIP clients. I had over a decade of doing, I do a online launch of my Speak to Sell program, which is kind of our world-renowned flagship program. I think it's even become an industry term, right? Speak to Sell.
Yes.
We own that trademark. So, we teach people how to speak and make an offer. And so for over a decade, every 6-month cycle, I would have an online launch. We'd do $1 million and gain all these, 1,000 new clients. And then we'd have people come to our Speak to Sell event, and they'd learn how to put their talk together that led to the irresistible offer. And we'd do a 7-figure event, right? And then we'd have a mastermind off the back end of that, usually about 150 entrepreneurs, probably one of the most profitable, longest standing masterminds in the industry. And I did that, over and over, and I made my offer that way. And the thing that I came to learn after winding all that down about 5 years ago is, now I'm almost back to where I started. I'm just doing high ticket, one-on-one VIP and very small group at my home, 6 people at a time kind of thing. And it's really, lifestyle plus mission, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the first things for people to figure out when you're looking at your offer. You might say, Lisa, how does that relate to what I offer? Because, what you offer ultimately is your life. It is who you're going to be serving. It's the people you're going to be hanging out with. If you don't want to wear nylons anymore, don't be serving corporate, right? So,
does anyone wear nylons anymore?
I mean, I don't even know if I'm calling them the right thing. It's probably some like saying, flight attendant or waitress or where, I don't even know the correct terms, so it's I don't even know if nylons are the politically correct thing. Pantyhose. And that's how long it's been since there's been any. That's how long it's been since there's been any in my house.
Yes.
But, so really thinking about who your offer is for, are those the people that you love helping, that you want to interact with? And then, what you're going to deliver, that's how you spend your day. Do you like to be on Zoom calls? Would you rather be live with people? Do you want it all digital and your time is more spent on the marketing? So it's really amazing, looking in hindsight at all of the just amazing icons in really every space in the entrepreneurial world that have become my clients over the years, and that I've gotten to see the back end of their business. I've really, really come to see that your offer is your life. And so I feel that you can still be as committed to your mission, but your offer might change over the years.
Yes.
So for me, let's just, my primary offer for all these years has been a starter program called Nail Your Offer. Really helps people get on the map with how to say what they do, what is it they're offering, how to package it, position it, price it. Once that's established, then how you're going to make that offer needs to be figured out. And the way I like to say it is everything you do when you're working in your business should really be reverse engineered to lead to your offer. And a lot of people are just kind of out there doing a lot of things. They're doing their
Right.
podcast, they're writing their book, right, Susie? They're they're
Yeah.
they're starting a YouTube channel, but they didn't take the time in the beginning to really say, what's my offer? And what's the best sales system for that offer? What do I love? How can I reverse engineer everything I do, from this interview to a post on social media to networking at an event? That everything I do, I've rethought on how am I going to consciously lead this person who is talking to me, because clearly they're looking for something that I have, right?
Right.
They're
Right.
looking for help. How can I lead them in the most conscious way to the next step with what I offer? And so that's the first thing, is just to say, I'm passionate about the offer and making your offer irresistible, because I believe ultimately it's your mission, it's your lifestyle. It really is everything. And what do you think about that?
Well, I love when we work together, right? So I'm always looking for who can support me in taking to the next level,
Yeah.
right? So we did a VIP day. I have that sheet on my wall for probably
Yeah.
a year, right? This big sheet, which was great because it just had me get focused to not get distracted. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Because it's
Okay.
so easy in our marketplace to get distracted,
Yeah.
right? With the sparkle and
Right.
the squirrel. And
Totally.
I agree with you in looking at, creating something. And I went through a similar transition last year. I took a sabbatical and just didn't work. Said, I'm done.
Yeah.
I just need to figure out, what do I want to do now in this season? So our paths are very parallel in deciding I don't want to do programs where I push people uphill. Right. I want people that love to work and want to do the result. And so it became the same but different, right? And
Yeah.
so I think it's okay as we get seasoned in whatever season that you're in, right? Whether you're starting, keep changing it, refining it, but the foundation is the same. So
Yes.
when we're putting it together and designing our irresistible offer, what are the foundational pieces that we need to look
Yeah.
at so that
Uh, yeah.
we're staying focused and it is juicy and valuable, right? Because if
Right.
there's no value, you can't. I think that one of the challenges I see is people try to emulate or imitate too much, to go,
Hmm.
oh, Lisa does it, so I'll do it. Yeah, but you're not
Right.
Lisa, right? You're not Susie. You're not whoever. Like, what is your juice and your magic?
Right. I forgot what the movie was where they're like, she says, I'm going to do it with my own personal flair.
Yeah.
And so the foundational pieces of an offer, I appreciate the question, especially in the context of us, being in this, I love it, the more seasoned place in our life. I like to say you got a couple of OGs here.
Yeah.
We've been around since it was like all men and four women
Yes,
in the,
exactly.
online digital marketing and training and coaching space. So, Susie and I have seen a lot in our rearview mirror, and there are a lot of things that look super attractive from the outside, but when you actually go to implement the model, they're not profitable, or they require a huge team, or it's, three clients in, two clients out, you're never gaining traction. So
Right.
it is so wise of you to follow her and her interviews and the people that she's selecting, because there is something to be said for, being able to see things in hindsight, being further up the mountain, I guess you could say.
Right.
And then there's all the shiny new strategies, and that's all great too. But there's things that are time tested. And what I'm going to share with you about making your offer and make it irresistible is time tested. I don't need to re-record my Nail Your Offer, my Speak to Sell, or Event Profit Secrets programs. the sales conversion structures work over time. So it doesn't matter if you were on MySpace or you're, moving from Facebook to Instagram to YouTube, like the platform and all the new tips and tricks, what I'm going to share with you works over time regardless of platform. So you can kind of keep it in your
Yes.
action list from a day-to-day basis, like Susie's poster on her wall from our work together. What she's talking about is her offer, right? It's up
Yeah.
there in front of her.
You're listening to another episode of Power Your Profits podcast. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Are you tired of pouring resources into strategies that don't work? Say hello to Dr. Susie Carder, your future fractional COO. With Dr. Susie in your corner, your business can skyrocket to 7 figures and beyond. With a track record of creating thriving businesses, trust that you are in good hands. Head over to coo.poweryourprofits.com and let us put some magic into your business growth. Overwhelmed by the complexity of business profit strategies? Jump aboard the Bullet Train to Big Profits course, a streamlined solution by Dr. Susie Carder. This course is designed to uncomplicate the path to profitability. Imagine being able to identify and execute profit strategies with ease, skyrocketing your revenues. Visit course.poweryourprofits.com and sign up for the Bullet Train to Big Profits course today.
So, I like to make a distinction, Susie, between your offer and your irresistible offer. So it starts with knowing your offer. And I kind of like to think of an offer as almost like a little math equation. So if I had a whiteboard out, I'd be saying, okay, your offer equals the transformation or outcome that you uniquely provide, right? So we'd say outcome, right? Plus how you provide it. And I like to call that the service delivery. So your offer equals the outcome plus the way you deliver it, the service delivery. And that makes up your offer. And those are the two main things that we need to figure out when we're putting our business together to make a difference and a profit is, what is that outcome or transformation I uniquely provide? In my case, it's that you are confident and ready to make your offer in any situation. Like that's my passion, right? And then how do I provide it? That's the thing Susie and I are kind of wrapping on is that there was a time, a decade of my life where I went from 7-figure launch to 7-figure event to mastermind. That's how I provided my offer, right? Now, how I provide my offer is digital programs. People approach us about VIP work. I do some small group gatherings called Ignite at my house, right? But it's still the same. The transformation is still the same. The outcome part of the equation is still the same. It's just that the how I provide it, the service delivery, has changed as the seasons have changed in my life. And, or it could be as the market changed, or, you used to love live events and now you have a 2-year-old at home, or you're nursing and now you want to do it all on Zoom, or you're zoomed out and now you want to go back to live. A lot of people are in those transitions, but your offer, the thing I'm calling your offer, that transformation outcome you provide, I'm still just as equally as passionate about as the day I nailed my offer and really figured that out about 15 years ago. So that's one thing that I think it's important to remember is just because you're winding down a certain model, you're realizing membership was not what you thought it was going to be, and you're going back to wink, wink, going back to, event-based and cohort class-based, or you thought Evergreen was going to really, be the answer, and you just haven't quite been able to get, able to make money while you sleep. It's okay. You can still be doing the same mission. So that's what I mean by offer. That's kind of the first part. So it's outcome plus service delivery is your offer. And then the fun part, we have to nail that down. We can't move on. One mistake people make is they want to move on to the fun part, the irresistible offer, but they really haven't nailed down the words to describe the transformation that they offer. And they really haven't gotten clear, on what really would be the way that would work for their lifestyle. And their market on how they deliver. So that has to happen first. Once the offer is nailed down, now we can talk about how do you make that offer irresistible? And this is, sort of a lifelong practice for me. I love, love, love paying attention to what's irresistible and what's not. And you've all been there where you're like, God, I really love what this person's saying, but the way they're putting together is like I want to run the other way. And so there's a couple of elements that I've identified that are really across the board, and especially this will map on if you're selling an intangible. So you have a service-based business, you're a coach, mentor, doctor, lawyer, plumber. You're not tipping a box, right? So, and I think that is a majority of the people here. So if you're selling an intangible, this will map on even more perfectly. But there's three parts that I always look at to try to pull apart and distinguish when I'm trying to make an offer irresistible. The first part we talked about, it's the offer itself. What is the main dish? So, what is that system, those steps, that formula, that blueprint, something to make that intangible feel tangible. That's why you see people making a system, a formula, blueprint, a number of steps. In our campus and in our Nail Your Offer program, we call that your unique branded system. And Susie and I worked on this together for her, and
Yeah.
she killed it. She killed it. It's probably why a lot of you are here, because she's able to articulate her unique, it's really named for exactly what it was. It's her unique method. It's branded. She named the baby, right? And it's a system. There's an order to things. It's not just, did she wake up on the right side of the bed to help me today? It's that she's got these proven steps that she can walk you through, that if you follow those, you are going to enjoy the profit promise.
Yeah.
So she's a great example. So that's step one, is that we call all that the main dish, right? If everything else fell away, that is really what causes the transformation in how you do it. Then the irresistible part gets in with step 2 and 3. I'll just tell you what they are. Step 2 is bonuses, or part 2, I could call it, your bonuses. And part 3 we call limiters. And these things work in tandem, and they change a bit depending on, are you selling one-on-one, through conversations? Do you have a sales floor? Or are you selling one-to-many through Zoom, a webinar, a stage, a podcast? What? So these we tweak these a little bit in our different programs, but the overall, we've got the main dish, your bonuses, and your limiter. And if you'd like, I can just say a few things about the
Yeah,
bonus
absolutely.
limiter.
Please.
Good reminders, and some of you have all these, but you never distinguished them this way. And when you pull them apart and distinguish this way, it makes you more powerful when you're making your offer, because you can talk very powerfully about the main dish. And then there are like some specific structures on how to present the bonus and how to present the limiter. So bonuses, number one, they're not part of the main dish. So if you need it as part of your system for someone to succeed, then it's not a bonus. It's part of the main dish.
Right,
If
right.
I can't complete the offer, if I can't complete the transformation, have that outcome, then it's got to be part of the main dish. But if it's something that people would love to have, people that buy the main dish would love to have, then that makes a great bonus. In fact, we want that bonus to feel worth the whole price of admission. So if your digital course is $2,000 and the bonus feels worth $2,000, that works out really well. Now, a couple of things around bonuses from my perspective. There's definitely a lot of schools of thought on this, but we've done pretty well helping people do well and done well ourselves. So, note these down. And then before we finish, I'll give you a link where you can get our Irresistible Offer Blueprint. So it'll say all the things. It's a complimentary gift. It'll say all the things that I'm saying, but all the things I didn't have time to say too. So you'll be able to kind of like sketch out your own offer. So the bonus, there's a couple things. Number one, I really believe you only want a few. And I really
I
mean
made that mistake. Let me just say, let me
yeah,
clarify this, because
one or two or three is what I mean. I don't
take your
mean
sink
15.
away. Because I
Please,
was
please.
like following other best practices. Like I
Yeah.
was doing the bubblegum shoestring band-aid duct tape. And I think we
Oh,
eliminated half the crap that I was giving away, because you're scaring them with all this stuff. Like, oh, okay.
and what Susie's saying is spot on, because maybe in the old days to say I had 30 hours of recorded experts that I'm throwing in as a bonus would have been great. But now we can turn on any social channel, or
Right.
I mean, we're just trying to get away from all
Right.
the overload of content. So I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. There was a gal that had how to get into college, was her jam, and she came and she created her unique system and all the things. And she created this bonus. It was on one page, and it was the top 100 words that college admission specialists said popped the most for them on applications, right? Like it
That's
was just,
juicy.
it's not need to be a 50-page document or 30
Right.
hours of recording or, your $6,000 thing. So it should have a high value. Now, that one we could question, should it have been in the course? But I'll give you my own example. Our Speak to Sell course. Here's another tip on bonuses. You want to have bonuses that handle the biggest objection that people have to saying yes. So with our Speak to Sell program, people are going to speak and make an offer. How do you do that seamlessly? Give great value and leave them wanting more. We have a formula called the Speak to Sell formula. What's the number one objection? I'm going to tell you. The number one objection to people buying that program was that I want to do it so bad. I want to speak. I want to make my offer. I want to make money speaking, but I don't know where I'm going to get booked. Like, I don't see how I'm going to get on stages. So I realized that I had all these things laying around my desk of how I get booked. I have the emails that I send. I have the responses that I give. I have the speaker intro that has my, all my stuff to send right over. And so we have like a thing called a speaker intro and talk summary. So realizing that was the number one objection. And this is how you can all start with like adding the perfect bonus. So what if I took all that stuff and made it a get booked toolkit? Right now, it used to be in the course. It was like in module 5, down the hall and around the corner. Most people would never get to it. It was at the bottom of a shit ton of content.
Right.
When I realized that was the number one objection, I took it out of the course because it wasn't part of the promise to build a talk that sells, that you would get booked. And I made it the get booked toolkit. I put some extra pieces. And so now when people invest in Speak to Sell, and they do it in a timely manner when I make my offer, that's where the limiters will come in. I'll say a little more on that in just a moment. When people invest in that, they get the $500 get book toolkit as an instant bonus, right? And so that's a great example that I've used over time of something that would be an objection. It solves it for them. It was hidden in the course, but not really part of the promise. So that's another tip, is probably your best bonus. You shoved somewhere into your course because you were trying to fit 10 pounds
Give it
of rice
all.
in a
Wait, there's
5-pound
more.
bag. Yeah,
More.
exactly. And you can actually take it out, still deliver the promise, and it will get more attention. It will help your client more when it's kind of like dusted off and packaged in a way that they can use.
Yeah, I've gotten some that are just so cheesy, right? So it has to be valuable, right? There's, I got it. I was so disappointed. Like, wait, if this is what you're giving me for free, like the opposite.
Yeah, yeah. The same with your free
so
gift, what
obvious.
Susie's saying. Like, your free gift better rock. Like, you guys will see when you get the Irresistible Offer Blueprint, you're going to be like, this is better than most people's paid course. Make you want them to be like, if this is the appetizer, I want the whole meal.
Exactly. But not
And
over
then
money.
exactly, yeah, exactly. And then the last piece on Irresistible is the limiter. And I'll just break that down into two kinds of limiters that we see most commonly. You've got time limiter. So, right now, before the next speaker, so in this 15-minute break, you get $1,000 off of Speak to Sell, right? That would be an example of like a live stage or maybe through a Zoom event. And then we've got quantity limiter. So a real example is when right now I'm doing these 2-day, I don't know, I've just been doing them as I feel it, as people come, these 2-day called Ignite events at my home, and they're just 6 people. So I have a natural limiter, like it's 6. That's a quantity limiter.
Yeah.
Right. We got one coming, for example, in May. I got 2 people in it. So it's limited. I got 4 spots left. That's authentic.
Yes.
And that's very different than, download my free Irresistible Offer Blueprint and it's only the first 10 people. It's like, it's a download. Come on, guys.
Right.
That just sounds a little cheesy. So,
but it's also just talks about integrity, right? Which our industry, it's gray, right? It's we feel like they're promising something and it just feels like slimy, right? And I think what I love about you is it's like, let's have integrity with what we're doing or don't do it. Right.
Yeah. The BS meters are high. And, I know you and I tend to attract, both male and female clients, but a large percentage of female clients are, kind of following in our footsteps of, being a busy mom and raising a business. And how did you do it all? And we're happy to share.
Right? I love you said being a busy mom and raising a business.
Did I say that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Seriously did.
It's both, right? I'm raising my kids and raising a business.
There's a quotable. Yeah, raising two kids and a business. Now they're young adults now. I got to update my picture and my set there.
Well, watching the
Yeah,
limiter, right? That you
yeah,
did this at my event. So I had Lisa speak at my event. And so everything she's saying as she's walking her talk, right? Which is important to me, is I don't want to support someone that isn't walking their talk.
mm,
To go, and I watched everyone run, which was awesome, right? We
yeah,
worked together to look at where did it fit in my offer and
yeah,
what was where it didn't compete at all. It was a compliment.
yeah.
And so I think that's important too when you're working with someone to go, how can this be in complement versus competition? I don't think there's competition because
No,
it's different,
yeah,
right? And when they're done with me, they need you, or when they're done with
yeah,
you, they need me, right? It's like, how
right.
can we create these relationships that are win-win versus it's mine and yours and like who
Yeah.
cares,
Well,
right?
plus, I mean, people studying, fill in the blank of what you do, but, for each person watching here, but, I don't go to just like one nutrition coach. I don't go to just, one speaker training or one sales training. It's a
Right.
craft.
Yes.
So there are things that we each uniquely have figured out from our own school of hard knocks and lifetime on the stages and, lifetime making offers that, you know, they fit together beautifully. That's why we choose to work together over and over. So, yeah, agreed.
Well, I think working
Appreciate
with you, the great thing was I think sometimes seasoned speakers, right, their ego gets in the way, like I know how to sell from stage. Well, we all do, but
Yeah,
what's going to make me better? What's that thing I don't see?
yeah,
Right. And that's why I invested right in a VIP day to go, what's the thing I don't see that I don't know that I don't know because I've been
totally.
doing it so long. And so
Yeah,
there, businesses like this combination lock, right? One little tick off and the money doesn't open. So we just refined ticks, but then it was you just a whole
yeah,
opening in what I was doing and in a complement with what I was doing. So,
yeah,
I know everyone on that's watching this, and you might be starting, you might be seasoned to don't overlook, right? I think as more seasoned, our learning curve is shorter, right? We're more coachable to go, what do I need to work on and refine so that I am using my time effectively, right? We
100%.
are leveraging time, talent, and profits, to make that business work. So I
I
love
appreciate it. And you have real world business experience. You're not someone who, tripped over something good and did it one time and now you're teaching the world. Like you have many businesses, you've been behind the scenes, in so many mega businesses and that you bring that forward the way that you do and communicate it so clearly is just invaluable. So
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So you do have an irresistible offer, and I love that you've been planning it the whole time, which is
exactly.
a master at what she does.
We
So
call that seeding. It's step 3 in our
yeah,
Speak to Self formula. That's why you want to have the steps because you can use your own steps. And then you can refer back to where they came from. So I knew Susie was picking up what I was putting down. I'm using my own example, like meta,
yes,
right? So I've
it's
been
so
seeding the
beautiful.
free gift many times throughout this 20 minutes or so we've been together. So that by the time we get here, it's not a big sales pitch to have you go give it to yourself. You've heard about it.
Exactly.
You're just waiting to figure out how to get it.
Right.
And
Give it, give it, give it.
that's exactly how you want it to be when you're out there, presenting what you do, is they're just sort of like, okay, where's the link?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the link will be in our show notes. It is the Irresistible Offer Blueprint, and I promise you, it is delicious and juicy. I've been taking notes this whole time, because again, it's where do I need like this combination lock to go? What did I forget about? What did I'm busy doing what I'm doing. Go, wait, let me relook at what I'm doing right now to go, do I need to tweak something? Do I need
Yeah.
to go back and look at it? Because we're never done. And I think sometimes we go, oh, I've already seen Lisa speak, and then you move on. It's like, but wait, are you doing what Lisa's talking about? You have an offer, but is it irresistible? Because if it's not irresistible, we need to go back to the drawing board. If you're not getting sales, right, and you have the leads coming in, there's something missing. So it
Right.
might be time to revisit this conversation. It might be time to go to Lisa's website and see how can she help us refine what we're up to and what we're doing. You are
Yeah.
always such an advocate for women, men and women, but women business owners, and tell the truth, right? To go, let me tell you what's great about it. I'm going to tell you what's not great about it. And
Yeah.
here's how we can dial that in. So,
No, thank you. I really appreciate you introducing me to your amazing tribe. Obviously, where we all share, this like-minded, just as strong, unending desire to make a difference and also to, make great money doing it so we can do more, in our lives and give more and be more and all the things. So excited to see share stages with all of you, and you again, Susie. And yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for featuring me today.
Absolutely. So the offer will be in the show notes. And you can go to Lisa's website as well. It's her name, Lisa Sasavich. And we look forward to making lots of money together. So thank you, Lisa, for being here.
All
Thank
right.
you for always being a champion for our profit. We love you. We adore you. We appreciate you, and have a blessed day.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Power Your Profits podcast. Let these building blocks from today's most successful industry leaders equip you with the necessary resources and tools to finally establish the highly profitable business of your dreams. Want to hear more? Listen to more episodes at www.poweryourprofitspodcast.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the show. Now is your time to rise to the top of your game. So be sure to catch our next episode. Until next time.